Remember when you told me you believe in something and you said you're done pretending that fate is patient. Go run away, get it out of your system. Come back when you're older. Go find a place.
Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. I am so happy that you've chosen to spend your time with me today. And on today's video, we have quite a bit to do. Winter came to Calgary and it came with a vengeance. We had a huge snowfall, and so to get ready for that, I wanted to clear out the garage so I can park in there. But I also had a few things to do at home, and I will share a recipe with you guys today. So stay tuned, and I hope you enjoyed today's content, and I'm really glad you're here. Alright, so starting off, I'm just starting in the kitchen, and there was quite a few dishes and I wanted to get the dishwasher running, so I'm going to put away the baby's bottles and the dry clean dishes, then put the remaining in the dishwasher so that can run. I also did want to make myself breakfast because this was after school drop off. I got in my PJs and got cozy because you saw it outside. Yeah, nasty. But anyway, so just, gonna have some breakfast, but while I'm waiting for that to cook, I figured I could have done some dishes. And then that's what I'm doing. You'll also see that my husband was still home, so he's getting ready to go to work and, getting himself tea and stuff like that, or me making tea rather. So anyways, that's the plan. Clean up the kitchen a little while I wait for my food, and then I can tackle the garage.
Within your broken bones, and be wild, 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 wild,
It started out like a movie scene, something straight out of a magazine. I crossed my fingers you'd come to me. Then all
The dishwasher got full and I could not fit anything else in there, so I'm just going to wash them by hand. There's not that many, just a couple of my water bottles and pots, and then the kitchen will be clear. I know I'll make a mess just as soon as I eat, but for a few minutes it was clear and it felt so good. And you know what, the dishes really don't bother me that much. Even when I clean and then there's dishes again, it still feels good because I have a blank slate to cook in. And like I said, I love to cook, so the cleaner the kitchen is, like the less stuff there is, the higher the chance that I'll actually enjoy cooking. And so, I love me a clean kitchen. Let me know down below, which room do you feel like it's a necessity to be clean in your house? I know a lot of people that's their bedroom, for their sleep hygiene and stuff like that. But for me, it's the kitchen. If my kitchen is a mess, I feel like the whole house is a mess, even if the rest of the house is impeccable. So let me know, you guys, which room do you feel that it has to be clean for you to function?
don't care about no gold, no one else to hit my phone up. None of that pretentious life. No, 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 don't need no pills to get high. There's no doubt in my mind. Your love, it is all that I need. It's all that I need. All I need is your loving. All I need is your
This tea is so good. Unfortunately, you can only get it from Kenya, or if you know a Kenyan store or a Kenyan, but it's really good.
All night long, want you all night long. Tell me.
I was actually gonna say that this is now tea season, but then I thought, who am I kidding? Kenyans, we love tea, and also Persians, my husband's Persian, they love tea. There's always like tea going on for breakfast, lunch, dessert, you name it, there's tea. And so it's really tea season for us. In the summer, a cup of hot tea, like a hot cup of tea, wow, can't speak, a hot cup of tea to pick you up, and you know, usually just black with nothing in it, but the quality of the tea matters. So yes, you can call me a tea snob. I guess that could be today's interesting fact, but I had promised to tell you about my vehicle insurance, so coming up I will tell you that story.
All night long. Not feeling lost without you, and I just can't be without you, baby. Want you all night long, want you all night long. Give me all your love, baby. Give me all your love, baby. Give me all your love, all your love, all your love. Give me all your love, baby. Give me all your love, baby. Give me all your love, all your love, all your love. Watch all night. Tell me, why'd you have to go and drive me so crazy? Now I'm feeling lost without you, and I just can't be without you, baby. Want you all night long, want you all night long.
So among my tribe in Kenya, I'm Kikuyu, and roots are like root vegetables are typically very popular for breakfast. Your arrowroots, cassavas, sweet potatoes, and this, I went to the grocery store the other day and I saw this sweet potato that's white fleshed, and I just couldn't help myself. I had to get it. So we typically boil them, but then I find it too soggy. So what I decided to do is just steam it using like a steamer basket, and I can have it later when I need a pick-me-up, because it was so delicious, you guys. Like, it retained all the sugar because, you know, it didn't get diluted by the water because it was just steamed and it wasn't sitting in water, but amazing. So eggs are done. I'm gonna have that, and I'm gonna put a lid on the sweet potatoes and let them steam. And here you can see I finished eating, and so I started tackling the garage. Now, I will be honest with you, I didn't completely clear everything and sort it once I got it in the house. I tried to do a majority of it, But I do have a little baby. I do like to take breaks. I do have to go back and pick up my son from school. So it kind of got done slowly throughout the week once I got it in the house. But I did get it all in the house this same day just so I could park in here. And when I went for pickup with my daughter, then she didn't have to, you know, be outside in that much wind. So just wanted to mention that in case you wonder like if I'm going to clean all this up. No, I am not. Also, our basement is unfinished and we have nothing in there, and these bikes, it's done. You cannot ride a bike in the weather I just showed you guys. I mean, you could, but we certainly won't be. So I'm gonna put the bicycles down and keep them in the basement until, you know, the spring or summer, at which point I won't need to park in the garage anymore, so then the bicycles can hang out up here. Also, if you're wondering why I am keeping all my beverage containers, we actually get a refund if you return them to a recycling depot. Now, it's not really that they're giving you money. You actually do pay the deposit when you purchase them at the grocery store, ranging from 5 cents, I think, to 15, might even be 20. But so I usually keep them, and then when I have enough, I'll take them to the recycling depot about once every 6 months or so, because we don't really do a lot of bottled beverages other than milk or kefir or stuff like that. But that is why I have a lot of beverage containers. I'm not just collecting them for fun. And so just gonna continue putting this stuff up, and on top of the bottles you'll see in a little bit I'll put a bag on, and that's all the all the donations that have to go out. But again, I wait until I have a substantive amount. I don't want to keep driving to, you know, to the donation center every single time I have some donations. So I keep it all in the house. That stuff that I'm putting up there, that's all donations. And by the end of the garage cleaning and sorting, it is actually going to be full, but I have another bag upstairs which is not quite full yet. So once they fill up, then I can take that to the donation center.
You know you make me feel so alive. Can't stop thinking about you day and night. Love it when you kiss me, love it when we touch. Every time I'm down here, you make me smile. You're the solution. You are, you are, you are, you are, you are, you are, you are. You are the solution. You are the solution. You are, you are, you are, you are, you are, you are, you are. You are the solution. You are the solution. Everything I needed. I never thought I'd meet someone like you. You know you are the reason. Reason why I feel like I can fly. Thinking about you day and night. I love it when you kiss me, love it when we touch. Every time I'm down here, you make me smile. You're the solution. You are, you are, you are, you are, you are, you are, you are.
The wind was blowing against the garage door, and so it was kicking, you know, it was blowing the snow against the door, and it made this perfect cast. But I couldn't help myself. I had to kick it because, well, why not? You'll also see my wheels skidding because it was very slick, and then my windshield was frosted in like less than an hour since I did school drop off. So then I had to de-ice that, like scrape it, and this is the kind of stuff I don't want to be doing every morning when we're in a hurry to get out of the house anyway. And so yeah, just bringing my car in, and hopefully I don't have to deal with this again. So you guys, so windy, so snowy, and I know our garage is a little tight, but I really hate shoveling. Well, I don't mind shoveling so much, but I mean like scraping ice off of my car, which I got to do every morning, basically from now on until spring. So I just moved everything that we still hadn't unpacked, and then I'm gonna put the bicycles down in the basement because we're not using them now anyway, so they can stay in the basement. And then yeah, and then that way I can park inside. Also, it's not so cold when I have to go out with the baby, but that's why I kind of did a little reshuffling there. But yeah, oh man, it is nasty out, and it's not even that cold, but the wind and the snow blowing in your face is just, ugh. Anyway, my least favorite season, but making the best of it.
A new place, a new home, for a while, let me feel alive. Nothing to hold me back, take my time, just enjoy the ride. A new man passing by, life is good, best I've ever felt. Get me up, somewhere new, somewhere I can find myself. Oh, I feel so.
Also, when I wasn't working full-time, I was driving for Skip, and I never got rid of my bags because, well, it's a good side hustle. So anyway, back to the interesting fact about my insurance. Remember, I got a brand new car and my license was less than a week old. So insurance was about $380 a month. So what ended up happening is my dad covered that. He became the primary driver of my new car, and then I became the primary driver of his car, and so insurance was a little cheaper. We could offset it that way. And so when they moved to Kenya and I moved back to Calgary from BC where I had moved, I had to my policy was expiring and his policy had expired, so I had to get it on my own. And while I was shopping around, the company that my car was insured with wasn't giving me a reasonable price, so I asked Amir, my husband, to check with his company what it was. And so turns out by bundling it would have been cheaper. I think it was 180 190 at Amir's company. But then as soon as we transferred everything over to that company, then Allstate, which was my original insurance company, called me back and said, oh yeah, we got it for 180, which was actually cheaper than what we had with Amir's policy, but it was so much hassle having to transfer everything again, so we just left it. Now, the interesting fact here is I actually have never paid for insurance for my car because then Amir's policy was already existing, and so the payments just came out of his card, but you know, we have shared finances, so whatever. But yeah, so if you're being very detail oriented, first my dad paid for it and then my husband did. So that's the interesting fact. I have to date not yet paid for my own insurance, but hey, that day is coming, I'm sure, someday.
Okay, 'cause I found my way. I'm out of reasons, I'm out of rhyme, but I'll only tell you that I'm out of time. I'm sick of love songs, I'm tired of this, and I wanna tell you straight just like it is. You're watching me like you want me, but you're still holding back, still holding back. Honestly, you're annoying me with the way that.
So after sorting a few things, I'm gonna start putting them away. So all this stuff I'll store downstairs, and that blankie needs washing. And that blue bag actually has our summer shoes. I'm gonna put them downstairs because we're clearly not gonna be wearing them anymore. And there's some boots and thicker, heavier kind of winter shoes that I'll be bringing up later and putting in the space that I cleared on the shoe racks in the garage. But yeah, lots of stuff going downstairs. Any workout equipment we have is downstairs just because that's typically where I'll actually go for some stretches and stuff. And yeah, so continuing slowly, there's a lot of bags. I'll actually ended up donating so many of these bags just because I kept them, but I couldn't remember the last time I used them, so that was a sign to go ahead and bless and gift somebody else with them. So slowly working on it and see how much progress I can make for the day.
Keep playing. Show me your love like it is, like it is. Bend open my heart like you're fearless. Steal all the gold you can get, like you're fearless. Steal all the gold you can get. Show me your love, leave me breathless, breathless.
I've actually had that polka dot backpack since I left high school, so since 2012. I think it's time to let that one go and gift it to somebody else. You'll also see that I have quite a few grocery, like reusable bags, because we have to pay for them, and so I'd rather not. And so I figured I'd keep them here in the garage. That way when I'm leaving, I can see them and grab them to go to the store. And that little bag organizer I got from IKEA, any plastic bags, because sometimes I do forget. So if I buy any, I'll just bring them home and put them in there. Then I can use them as garbage bags and stuff.
Hooked on you. I love the things you said to me.
Alright, turning off the light on that chapter, and that was about all I was able to get done. My husband did help me move the rest of the stuff upstairs because that's where it belonged. And now on to the recipe. So I got we're gonna make some chicken fajitas, and there's so many spices. Cumin, oregano, paprika, a little bit of cayenne, lemon. So what I'll do is I won't link it, sorry. I'll just put up a recipe card, and then you can screenshot that and get the recipe, but it's so simple. The chicken doesn't even need to marinate, just put it in. It is best if you use room temperature chicken, and you can also like slice the chicken or cook a whole breast, but I've found that in order for it to cook fastest, it's better if I cut it up first and then cook it rather than cook it first. And if you cook it in a high enough temperature, fast enough, it doesn't dry out. I know that sounds counterintuitive. Cooking it in a high temperature will dry it out, but I found that it doesn't. So after the spices sit a little, I'm just letting that cook. And I didn't have enough oil, so I added a little bit more. And the reason I'm using my cast iron is because I want it to color and darken. Just testing it. Once the chicken is done, I give it a minute just to make sure it's like really done, because I don't want to mess around with raw chicken. And then just take out the chicken, put in the veggies, and let them cook down. Start with the onions, let them cook down for quite a bit. You want them to have crunch but no zing. You know, like how you can bite into an onion and you're like, ooh, that's an onion. So you don't want that. You want it to kind of caramelize and, you know, get a little bit of color and soften a little, but you don't want it to go all the way mush. So I salted it and wait for it. Then after it's properly cooked, I'm just going to put the garlic in now, because again, I don't want that raw garlic taste. But please be careful, because garlic burns in like half a minute. So after the garlic, I quickly put in the rest of the veggies. See, I'm holding a baby. Sometimes I make supper with the baby because it just is what it is. So put the rest of your veggies. I opted for peppers of 3 different colors, but honestly, you can put in whatever you like. This is just what I had and what I felt like doing for this day. And then just taste. Don't burn yourself. I did. Put the chicken back in. Sprinkle in some lemon juice and just taste for salt and seasoning as you go. That is per your preference. But like I said, I will put a recipe card. That way you can make this if you'd like. And please let me know what you think about it if you do. I'm also going to serve it with like tortillas. I didn't have any corn tortillas, and honestly, nobody here is a huge fan of it, myself included. So we just used some whole wheat ones, and we got the big ones because, you know, I don't feel like buying 2 different sizes of tortillas, but I served it with sour cream and guacamole, but you could also do like lettuce and tomatoes if you'd like. Anyway, folks, that is the end. This brings us to the end of the video, and I'm so glad you were here. If you do try that recipe, please comment and let me know what you think of it. And thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care, guys.